Well, thank you for having me on. I'm David Williams, and I'm chairman of a number of companies that people will be familiar with, but one in particular I want to talk about today is RateMyAgent. People often say to me, which of my portfolio do I like best? And there's no such thing as liking best, but this one's certainly got the most upside as far as I'm concerned, and I own circa 30% of the stock. What RateMyAgent is a listed company, small cap, 30 million thereabouts. It's a review platform. What we do is have a platform that enables real estate agents to put on listings when they get them, to put on sales when they get them, and to put on reviews that they ask, or we ask, the vendors of properties to put up. And they're in a sort of TripAdvisor sort of format, star, 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 and some good words about them. We've been enormously successful in Australia. We've got 70, 80% of all agents on our platform. And of the active agents, which are agents that have sold more than one property in the year, we've got over 30% of those agents on the platform and paying. And on average, they're paying $1,100 per year. And Australia, New Zealand is profitable because of that. So every agent knows us. The ones that are on platform and not paying, we have to sort of reflect and think maybe we gave away too much value when we did it, but we'll come back to how I'm going to solve that in a moment. In the US, we've also been enormously successful in the sense that we've got 285,000 agents already on the platform. Now, just to put that in context, Australia only has about 50,000 agents, not all active because some of them have left the industry, some of them have not sold anything in the year. But in the US, 285,000 agents on the platform. Problem there is we've started a bit later, so not as many are paying. In fact, only 1% of all active agents are paying. Put it in context again, there's 865,000 active, sold more than one property, agents in the US. And as I said, we've got about 1% of those paying. And the question mark, therefore, is how do we get that up to the Australian metrics? Of course, we don't want Australia to languish at 30% paying. We want that to go to 50, 60, 70 and higher if we can get it. But if we could get the US with the same metrics as Australia, then this is a very, very valuable company. So you'll see on my slide there that I've started with 65,000 active agents in the US. Superimpose on that $1,000 a year is a TAM, a total addressable market of 965 million. And in Australia, we've got 30% of that paying. So in other words, the prize in the US is to have $290 million a year falling more or less to the bottom line because the incremental costs are quite small. And hopefully we're going to get more than 30% paying in Australia, New Zealand, and the US. So how are we going to do that? What's the solution? And because we've been picking off these agents, agent by agent, in Australia, where the brokerages, the large real estate agencies, didn't want to give us their agents. They said they're our agents and it's our data. So we had to pick off individual agents on their own. And over 5 or 6 years, here we've ended up 70, 80% of all agents on the platform. And now the brands are coming to us saying, why don't we do something wholesale? In the US, that's happened a lot quicker. So our solution is two things. One, let's partner with the largest brokerages on a wholesale basis. And you'll see, if you look at our ASX release, we've just done a deal with Realty One, voted best agency in the world a couple of weeks ago, in the US, I should say, and they have delivered in one fell swoop 20,000 agents onto our platform. Now, we will integrate into their tech, and so all of those agents will see us and see us being recommended by head office, and we will take a fee off Realty One or any of the big brokerages we do, and we'll take a fee off them because we're now going to be able to give them all the data on all their agents in terms of reviews and listings and so forth. And so they'll be able to, measure and control their brand in the market and promote it as a brand, having all the agents under the umbrella. Now, if I look at Realty One, I haven't got the exact number, but let's say 5,000 or 6,000 of those guys are on our platform. That leaves us, though, time to get another 14,000 or 15,000 agents that are integrated into Realty One's platform and to upsell them on the higher value that we're going to charge for, or just to upsell them on our program as it is at the moment. So that has been announced, 20,000 agents. We have a number of others in the pipeline, and we've got one, I think, that'll make people sit up and take notice of in Australia as well. So that wholesale strategy, really important, not only to give value to the brokerages, but to get a small amount of income out of that. But our main game is to be able to upsell all of the agents under their umbrella. The second thing we're going to do is we wanted to enhance our product offering. As I said, I think one of the reasons why some people are not paying, they're all using the platform, by the way. In Australia, the average agent's got like 35 reviews. So they're actively involved in the platform, but we've probably just given away too much free in our freemium model and having trouble, getting them to pay. 30% of active agents paying is good. And in the US, it'll be just a gold mine. But what we want to do is add to the product offering itself. And you'll see that we've just announced yesterday the acquisition of Curated Social. Now, Curated Social has a massive database of real estate type information that can be used and customized by agents themselves. So they can go on and say, look, and by the way, in customizing it, then to sell it to their universe, they sell it to the universe of people in the universe. Now, at the moment, what they get from us is they get a sugar hit when they get a listing because it goes up on their site. They get a sugar hit when they sell. They get another sugar hit when they get a review. And people who are looking to employ an agent will look at that database and use that database to divvy out who they might shortlist or who they might appoint. Now, if with social media, with Curated Social, this enables agents to send this sort of stuff to their universe throughout the year. And they can do that either by just going on every day, every week, and picking out things that are happening in the real estate industry, in the mortgage industry, in interest rates, or whatever it happens to be, and be front of mind for the whole year. In other words, to give these agents an ability to fill in the gaps between what we've got as RateMyAgent, which people in Australia clearly value. Now, they can also, interestingly, do it automatically. So I could go on as an agent and say, look, on Friday night, every Friday night at 5 o'clock, I want to send out some sort of information on what's happening in the industry. And I can customize that if I like. So this is going to help us, really drag paying agents in. But let's start with where we're at. We're going to start with the 33% of agents paying in Australia paying. And we're going to say, look, in addition to what you've got, we're now going to overlay the Curated Social capabilities. And we know that that will, by definition, nearly make them stickier and less likely to churn. We'll go to the other 60% who are not paying, but on the platform anyway, and say, look, if you want to pay a little extra, you can now have this extra facility that goes on the RMY. We'll do the same in the US. We've got 285,000 agents on the platform to start with. We'll go to them and offer them the same capability. So it's a combination of RateMyAgent and Curated Social. The other thing I would say is that Curated Social, it's a small acquisition for us, only 4 million with an earn out in it, but they come with 80,000 agents themselves. So they're very well known in the US. And people value this access to information and the ability to talk to their universe on a continuous basis. They come with 80,000 agents themselves. They are profitable. They are only 7 staff, so we get another couple of really senior staff in the US talking to brokerages. And they come with $2.5 million worth of revenue to start with. So we think we can go to their 80,000 agents and go, look, you're already on the platform using Curated Social, add on to it what RMA's got to do. So there's the short story. It's very exciting. And so, Lau, thank you and TSN for having me on and allowing me to just say a few words.